A long-awaited corruption trial opened in Luanda on Friday. In the dock, tycoon Carlos Manuel de Sao Vicente, who is accused of influence trafficking and money laundering, among other charges. However, before the hearing started, journalists with cameras and recorders were denied entry. Journalists are not allowed to enter, and they want to. They can only observe. We are not spectators, we are journalists, and we have come here to work just like the judges.
Para cumprir com aquilo que é o nosso trabalho, assim conforme é a decisão do juiz. O juiz também veio trabalhar.
We ask to be respected. This kind of restriction is unacceptable. Just like him, several fellow professionals were blocked in the tribunal's hall, a court instruction that some deem illegal as they wish to be free to inform the public. Although the judge is in charge of the hearing, he or she does not have the power to decide who and when people can enter. It is the law that determines when hearings are public or closed. The Angolan businessman trial comes almost 2 years after his arrest. During the era of the country's oil boom, the Sao Vicente's group sold insurance to state-owned company Sonangol. He is now mired in a $900 million embezzlement scandal. On Thursday, Angolan Justice Minister said the country had recovered more than $11 billion from graft cases.
A community hospital in the Central African Republic's capital, Bangui, is offering hope to HIV patients at an advanced stage of the disease. Around 110,000 people are affected by HIV in the country, but lack of free testing means that many are unaccounted for. This is one of the only countries where there is no free HIV testing, so patients learn of their HIV status very late when they are already in an acute condition, and there are people who come to the hospital here because they know it's one of the only places where there is free advanced HIV care. Our mortality rate is between 10 and 15%, which is not bad, frankly, given the severity of the conditions in which our patients arrive. We have patients who die the same day. For many, this community hospital is a lifeline. In the capital, the rate of infection is twice the national average. I was extremely tired and exhausted when I arrived at the hospital. I had no appetite or strength, but now the tiredness is starting to disappear and the appetite is coming back. I feel a bit better about my body. I know that if I had not been able to come to this MSF service, I could have died. Today I'm in good health. I take my medicines and I can even continue my small business. According to the World Bank, almost 70% of the nation's population lives below the poverty line.
On the last day of the One Ocean Summit held in France, President Macron brought together heads of states and government. The summit tries to raise the international community's ambition on the preservation of ocean ecosystems. President Al-Sisi presented on Friday Egypt's efforts to preserve marine resources. Early on, Egypt put in place legislation necessary to regulate its economic activities that are related to seas and oceans to ensure the sustainability of marine resources that can protect seas from all forms of pollution, including plastic waste pollution that is considered a real challenge, especially for developing countries that are seeking technological support needed to execute the strategies aimed at the reduction of plastic use harmful to the environment. Aware of a shared responsibility to the ocean, world leaders and civil society policymakers addressed major challenges throughout the session. Egypt's president, who will host the 27th UN Climate Change Conference, urged his counterpart to take strong commitments. As the host of the coming UN Annual Climate Summit, Egypt is calling for the enhancement of international efforts aiming to protect our seas and oceans from these effects in order to preserve its sustainability and the diversity of its nature. If negotiators hope to reach an agreement, some African observers deplored the continent's fate in the race for marine wealth, which often leaves Africa's waters polluted and plundered.
A European Union envoy for the Horn of Africa on Friday said there were signs that the belligerents in Ethiopia's conflict could agree a ceasefire deal. Last December, the TPLF rebels retreated back to Tigray after being routed by federal forces and their allies. But fighting has continued in the Afar region.
I've spoken to the AU, the African Union mediator this morning, from President Obasanjo of Nigeria. And he is touring Ethiopia right now. He just came back from Afar. He is cautiously optimistic. He was saying all the sides do understand that the next step has to be peace, that they have to go for a cessation of hostilities, that they have to build up on getting into ceasefire. So,
in December, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed declared victory over the rebels, but ordered government forces to pause their offensive after the fighters fled most of Amhara and Afar regions. Addis Ababa has demanded that the rebels disarm.
Speaking to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed yesterday, my sense is that what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, the changes, release of political prisoners, stopping the advance by the ENDF towards Tigray, releasing people from the camps, mainly Tigrayans from the camps. I think there is a path that is clearly towards peace, and he did speak about this.
The government has designated the TPLF and another group fighting in the Oromia region terrorist organizations and has ruled out talking to them.
Regarding the designation of terrorism or the delisting, there are discussions right now that there is a possibility to, of course, go through the parliament, and that there is a possibility for the delisting, and then, of course, after delisting, an engagement directly with the TPLF, because that is necessary if there is an agreement on cessation of hostility and ceasefire.
The conflict in Tigray began in November of 2020 after forces loyal to the region's ruling party attacked and killed federal forces. Rights groups have accused both government and rebel troops of committing atrocities.
World Health Organization head Tedros Ghebreyesus was on a working visit on Friday. With a delegation of European diplomats, he visited the WHO mRNA vaccine technology transfer hub in Cape Town, South Africa. It is in the facility of the biotechnology company Afrigen that the delegation was presented the progress achieved to secure more doses.
So the idea is, although we chose South Africa at the center as a global hub, the idea is to build global capacity, especially in countries, low-income countries, to have their own capacity, so the equity issue is addressed in the future.
To accomplish this vaccine manufacturing strengthening mission, Afrigen leads a consortium comprised of the South African Medical Research Council and the local vaccine producer. The hub, which was the first appointed in Africa by the WHO, can bring about major change to low and middle-income countries and benefit high-income countries.
So this is an investment, and that could possibly be a game changer in combating the major diseases. So this is big, and whatever time it takes, the key is, as they were saying, the quality of it.
Last week, Afrigen was lauded after it announced it had developed its own version of an mRNA shot based on publicly available data on the composition of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. On Saturday, Dr. Tedros' delegation will visit other local vaccine production sites. They all receive training and financial support from the WHO.